When a community experiences conflict, the residual trauma impacts various levels of society. Violence that emerges from conflicting ideologies, cultures, and socio-political agendas tend to leave an aftertaste long after the conflict has ended. These devastating events have a traumatic impact on each of us as individuals. More devastating is the collective trauma that is as a result of whole groups of people, tribes, and nations experiencing the brutality of violence over extended periods of time. The shadow of collective trauma post-conflict darkens important factors such as trust, hope, and faith in humanity that individuals and societies need in order to survive and heal. Collective trauma may give rise to significant shifts in the way people feel, think, behave, and relate with each other, thus fragmenting the very fabric of society. Families, communities, and political structures all bear the scars of difference and discord. They form part of the narrative, the lived experiences of those who stood and those who fell, and those who oppressed, knowingly or unknowingly. Conflict is complex because who knows where exactly it started when the ripples are as debilitating as the initial impact. Over time, these shifts become embedded in the culture of a people. For families and communities, this legacy becomes the fractured foundations upon which they are built. For individuals, they are expressed as behavior, personalities, and characteristics. All of these maladaptive traits are passed down generational lines. Some call them family curses or transgenerational transmissions of trauma, and too often in the African experience, they remain unhealed. The reality of life after these shifts is often an embodiment of violence and trauma, which leaves scattered beings searching for links and meaning. Lines are drawn during conflict, which often are hard to identify or erase post-conflict, process that has the potential to re-traumatize. The reality is that societies are left with shells and scars that remind them of what was lost, also what was overcome. The search for meaning in the African context is disrupted and never complete when faced with constant threat and instability. As the trauma is experienced collectively, we cannot ignore that the healing needs to be communal. We need to be able to deconstruct the maladaptive ways of being in order to reach a deeper healing that transcends generations past and generations to come. As displaced individuals, are we able to acknowledge the loss and resilience that was cultivated in survival? Are we able to hold accountable the systems that perpetuate the violence that has been adopted and enacted by people who often look and sound just like us? How do we begin to heal together when we have been separated in such a brutal manner and reunited to reconcile under hostile and unfamiliar circumstances? How can we look to the systems that perpetrated the violence to heal us when they too have not yet been fully reformed?